Good morning, no one that's here yet.
Hi everyone watching
get...
on YouTube in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the usual crowd to show up. Still 0 viewers at the minute. Okay, so yesterday we were working on, when we got to the end of the Brood Sisters, which I think I'm still going to rename to Babysitter or Babysitter. Yeah, you're only one babysitter, so I think that's still going to get renamed. And yesterday I was talking about potentially going back to the tug of war level. However, we won't be able to test any of that. So I thought I've had a bit of rethink, and I think we might start a new level today. And I'll set it up so we can actually test it. So this will be one we can work through from start to finish with the current movement systems. I'm not going to build something in the hope that the movement system will be done by the time I get to the end, because I've done that a few times now, and it's not happened yet. So I'm just going to work with what we got. And as such, I'm going to get going. So it's going to be a purely underground level, so we don't have a surface to worry about. It's going to only have one underground, so we don't have to worry about the second underground thing. Nothing's going to jump in it, so we don't have to worry about that side of things. Although I did start working on the jump. You're right. Aha! People are showing up now.
Raptor, hi, Bactane.
So I'm going to start with... Oh dear. Well, I can't blame them, to be honest, if you're watching a stream.
Teacher cut off Wi-Fi mid-stream yesterday. Yeah, concentrate on your work. It is important. Unless it's humanities, forget that. Don't worry about that one.
Right. So I'm going to start by opening the first level we had, just because it gives a basis for it, and then redoing the underground entirely, deleting all creatures and whatnot. Okay, so I haven't come up with a proper name for this yet, but I'm going to start by calling it Holdout Extreme. Should give you some idea as what kind of map I'm looking at, what kind of level I'm looking at. Aha. Welcome back, Whalecopter. And Blue Man. All the usual suspects. Okay. So taking this as a starting point, I need to delete all the creatures and all the food, everything. Maybe not the form corrector workers. There's a lot of creatures on this level. Okay, so speaking about some of the concepts I've got for this level. So first of all, based on the original Holdout map, I wanted to do attack waves coming into your forces, but at the same time you've got to tunnel out various areas to grow your army. However, I'm going to increase the attack locations, so there'll be multiple different locations you can get attacked from. There'll be hang on, still trying to concentrate here. Additionally, I was thinking of having like a progression system. So as you play it, and you score more points, you can unlock more creatures to build. And I want to have that save, so after each time you gain more points, so you can unlock more next time. Again, something a bit different. Right, let's see what we were left with. Some beach tiger beetles here. But still loads of things. I've accidentally selected some victory sequence there. And the audio conductor. Great. And the beach detail pieces. What's going on? I accidentally selected way more than I was meant to there. Yeah, it's selecting the inverse of what I'm looking at. I think I've deleted all the creatures and food. Nope. No, there's still some survivors over here.
Welcome Whalecopter, welcome Blueman 6000, welcome Pexford Archer 11.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. So let's shrink and enlarge the tile grid. I think a square map again. Not as big as this one. This one was stupidly big. Maybe a 60 by 60. So if I change it to a 5 by 5. Okay, that allows me to see anything that's left, actually. There we are. There's some things that have survived the deletion process. These are actually little fog particle effects. They can stay. I'll deal with you later. I actually think they probably remain from the first level. Anyway. Maybe not 60, maybe 50 by 50. I find it strange how... Okay, 55-50 does not look square. Let's go 60 by 50. That's better. That'll do. That'll do me. Okay. So now the way this is going to have to work is it's going to have its own UI elements at the start of the level to deal with the creature unlocks. So
are you redoing the map? No, John's doing. This is a new map. He's called it temporarily Extreme Holdout, so it's going to be a similar setup to one of the old demo levels, just with like a progress system and such like.
This map, although it looks small compared to the other one, because it's about obviously a good chunk smaller, but it's still bigger than like level 1 in the game, or level 2. It's still bigger than those.
Yeah, John isn't abandoning the other stuff he's been working on. He's just working on a bunch of things simultaneously because he can at the moment. Keep it fresh for you guys.
Okay, so let's have a look at the UI stuff that I want to add. Right, I did one for Surrounded, but I can't remember what that'll be called. I guess that doesn't matter. We'll just make a new one. How is it?
Yeah. How is everyone? Says Wellcopter. I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out where to put something. Often I find that with development that you get stuck on the daftest things, like where is it most appropriate to save a file. It's definitely an in-game thing. Beast button. Oh, they're literally the icons for beasts. Level UIE elements.
Hi, Daniel.
I'm in the. I can't remember what the. Player control widgets. Where's that? It's just in UI. It's just called player control widgets. So make a new folder. Okay.
Will the Crucible become a side mission or stay as a demo? It's decently hard and even as an ending cutscene. It'll stay as a demo level, really, won't it?
Well, Crucible.
Yeah. I think we'd
rather.
we'd rather just make something along the same, similar lines but different. I think if we were going to do a side mission a lot like that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, probably.
We'd make something new. Yeah, it just stays as a demo. I think there's no reason why it has to move.
I suspect as we progress with the game as well and release new environments and whatnot, we'll probably add new demo levels.
Yeah. Well, no reason for the demo to stay static as it is. Yeah, that can be updated in the future for people who just want a little taster.
So I want a basic close box, I think. This will probably give me what I need to create the widgets. It's not everything I need, but it'll give me a starting point. What was it? Special level UI. Okay, so let's bring that in. Don't actually know what size I want it to be yet, but let's make it a bit bigger. So. Okay, so need a title in here as well. Somewhere around there. I'll sort this stuff out as we go. Unlock. It's not upgrades, they're creatures. And then I probably want to bring the simplest way to bring buttons in for this sort of thing is from Battle Arena widgets. I'm just thinking where we've done this sort of stuff before.
Yeah. Widgets is the whole interface thing for Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the UMG widgets? Not really sure what UMG stands for.
Ultimate Mega Game.
Okay, so let's. Right, workers will be unlocked. So you should probably have a black ants unlocked, so you've got a basic
Unreal motion graphics, John.
Unreal motion graphics. Well then.
Yeah, I'm not experimenting with that yet.
It's a whole,
Looking forward to it, though.
whole big area.
Yeah, obviously. Very important part of game design. Well, any software, to be honest.
The whole widget interface is very user friendly as well. It's nice to work with.
And drag and drop and that kind of thing.
Okay, so I think Worker and Black Ant will be unlocked anyway. Do things like Wood Ant Melee. Why not? Why not, eh? People can experiment with stuff. Every time I paste, it goes into a weird location. Snap to grid, so... Now, this is going to be a choice for the player, so whichever one they pick, it will lock out the other one.
Good question from someone on YouTube, actually, John. Will the side missions be beta tested? I think a short one makes sense.
The first one will definitely be beta tested because that'll be part of the free play beta test.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about that, actually. They haven't even considered it.
Like a short scale one shouldn't be too tough to do.
Yeah, they should probably at least be tested by the beta group.
Mm-hmm. What are all these unlocks? John's going to have to explain that.
Yeah, I'm putting in a progress system for this side mission. So basically, as you play it, you'll get points that you can spend to unlock things. So hopefully you can progress further. It's a bit of a loop to give it a bit more replayability. I could go a bit daft towards the end as well, but we'll see if there's time. With the side missions, we don't want to spend too long on each one.
Oh, it's us.
What?
Right. I just thought, oh, someone I'm following has gone live on Twitch. Who is it? It's us. Yeah.
We're live.
We are.
Amazing. Were you considering watching another Twitch stream whilst we're streaming?
It was just force of habit, John. It's muscle memory, isn't it? Me see thing light up, me touch. Expert says, sounds interesting, said in Cade voice from Forsaken Destiny 2. I'm sure John gets that reference.
Yeah,
I've not played much Destiny, but he has. Can you do an impression?
Well, it's what's his face from Firefly.
The main guy from
yeah,
Firefly?
yeah.
Sounds interesting. That kind of
That sort of thing.
Slightly good old boy sort of American Texas kind of sounding-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
So Cade.
Phase 4.1 and 4.2 will be more difficult than 3.2. Probably, naturally progression style. Or at least very different.
Probably. Yeah, they're I think 3.1 and 3.2, I think they've got the hardest level. I think 3.2 is probably the hardest level in the game in a minute.
Yeah, until you know how to do it.
On expert mode.
Yeah.
On insane mode.
That's it.
Nathan
Fillion, yeah. Well, the Leaf Cutters had the step up in complexity with the resource management, which was something else you had to deal with, which was fine. The Fire Ants will feel very different again. They won't have that form of resource management, but they will have a few, bells and whistles of their own, won't they?
Yes, they'll have plenty of whistling bells. Right. do some of this. I need to also come up with some way of showing players that these unlocks. I don't want to gate them. Some of them have to be choices.
You can do a little DNA line like in
Yeah, I could actually bring the DNA line in.
Yeah, like in the upgrade upgrade choices from the main campaign. People will understand that as well. You know, you're locking out one choice.
Mm-hmm. Although, like I say, I don't want it to be that you have to unlock the first one. I don't want you to be able to just choose what you want to unlock. Either way, this is early days. I'm just bringing the icons in at the minute. I'll think about them later.
John, while I'm doing this newsletter, I'd like to have a look at recent source control changes to talk about. So at some point, maybe towards the end of the stream, if you do a bit of a chat about that. And,
oh yeah.
And then you can copy and paste some for me for this newsletter.
I haven't done that for this time, have I?
Mm-hmm.
What other creatures can we build? Trapjaws.
Special ability of fire ants at level 3 is to have 2 ants at the same tile, right? I think it's a bit different than that, actually, isn't it?
That's one of the...
Level 2 will allow you to have 2, and level 3 will allow you to have 3. Is that the third?
No, I think it's 1, 1, 2.
1, 1, 2. So yeah, you're right then. Level 3 gets 2 ants.
Yeah, I wrote down some thoughts on this. And we were discussing it before. That's where someone's getting it from.
Yeah, it's going to ultimately come down to balance, isn't it?
Yeah, and then there was the idea that one of the types of fire ants would be able to its hatch would become free if there's been an egg on the tile for a minute. So basically, if you're not losing them too rapidly, you can actually hatch them for free.
That figures. Yeah. Again, this is an example of why the campaign stuff takes us much longer than, say, these side missions that John's working on now. For the fire ants to hatch more than one egg from a tile, you had to develop a new system, aren't you? Like a sub-tenant thing.
Yeah, well, it sort of came about. It started to come about in the leaf cutter stuff.
With the leaf cutters,
with minims.
The minims, yes. So it's an extension of that system.
Yeah. There is still work to do on it to get it to.
Raptor says, I think they have several special abilities like building bridges. Yeah, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing bridge building. That was one of the stretch goals. Yeah, so we're committed to that one. It's safe to say we're definitely doing that. Exactly how that works is yet to be set in stone.
It's not pinned down completely yet.
We'd be silly to commit ourselves entirely to something right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have to see how it works and how it feels more than anything is how it feels. If it's not fun, change it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get myself a drink, John. Can I get you some water or anything?
Yeah, get me one of the bottles of water out of the fridge.
Bottle of water from the fridge?
Green ones.
Yeah.
Will there be fire ant bridges? Yes, there'll be fire ant bridges. In some capacity. We need to decide exactly how it's going to work, yeah. Okay, so... other things I can do is I can actually have certain upgrades unlock as well. So maybe you can buy some of the upgrades for the various species. I'm not sure how I represent that on the UI yet though. I mean, these don't have upgrades, but these two do, instead of the black ants. Gonna need to think about that a little bit, but we'll start with this. I also need a points thing. So where's that gone? It's all the way down here. I'm not properly positioning things at the minute. I'm just shoving them in so they're about somewhere. Why is everything going down there?
Upgrade like in the Formicarium, those are quite OP.
Yeah. The upgrades, if I do allow you to unlock them, they will be the Formicarium ones. I haven't decided yet, mostly because I haven't figured out how to get it into the UI without creating new, because I don't want to create too much new stuff. That's when things start taking time. Fire ants' damage is going to be venom based, so they're not going to do very well against things that are venom resistant.
Yeah, in nature they sting, don't they? They
Yeah,
venom, so yeah.
They're not. Their mandibles they only really use for grabbing onto stuff. They don't kill stuff with their mandibles.
Not much of a bite.
Yeah, they just hold on and then
overwhelm.
Sting.
They overwhelm with numbers. There's some of the most horrific things I've seen on nature documentaries. Fire ants swarming really big crabs.
Right.
They just totally wreck them.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Yellow ants, crazy ants. They're all similar, aren't they? They're all similar species. Invasive and very aggressive.
Okay. So. Right. I could repurpose. Probably best off making my own. Just trying to think about the save game situation. I might have to make a new C++ class for this. here's the other saves. I think it'd be most similar to a formic save.
Well, trapjaws have venom damage too. Well, do they?
I suspect they do sting, but they're not. They're trapjaws. The damage in the game comes from their physical damage.
The thing we've decided to concentrate on is the mandibles, which are very, very fast moving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of ants sting, but I mean, wood ants sting as well. Well, they don't sting; they squirt acid. Sorry, they bite as well. But we can't. And even like Formica fusca will squirt acid as well. In reality, but in our game, we'd rather concentrate on a few things that make something unique, really.
Yeah.
Rather than just have everything be too homogenous.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the point.
Okay, so that's a save game, parent class save game. So I think basically I just need to make a new C++ class here. You won't be able to see this dialogue, so just believe me, something's happening on screen. Save game. Making a new C++ class of class save game. I don't want to call it my save game. Right, so what we're going to need is a value for what you've for the resources you've got, a list of everything you've unlocked. What else needs to go into the save?
What are we saving? We're not saving. Or are we saving kind of nest state as well, or is it it's just unlocks?
Yeah, it's just unlocks. I think it's just those two things. So it's literally just a score, an upgrade points value, and a.
The ants that have stings could have one of the attack animations that do venom damage. I'm sure the fire ants will have a sting animation.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm sure that will be their their animation.
I have to work out how to get it looking right, because really they grip on with their things and then they stab from.
Yeah, Matt could probably do something where like the head does that, clamps forward, and the head stays still, and then the abdomen comes up, and it's up to him. Yeah. See how it happens.
Yeah, it's compiling at the minute. Since I added the new class. Hello, Hawk. Good to have you with us. Been a while.
Oh.
Finished.
Yeah, it was a new class. It wasn't compiling a bunch of code.
Yeah. Okay, I need to bring you lot into this. Where is it? Where's my bring you into this button? Yay! A nice fresh new class. I need to. There's a couple of things in formic save. I need to bring in. I don't need anything like colony name or setup or that. It's just gonna save. It's just gonna save you flat out save your progress. Colony setup. That will save what you've unlocked. Let's bring that in. What else do we need? We just need an integer really for the I also need to bring in I need to bring in the include file for the colony setup. I think it's EAT player types. Include that. Okay, I don't actually think I need any code in this. I think it literally just needs to be that.
It says, can't say I haven't been distracted by other avenues of life for the last year or so, but from the times I've dropped into this game, it's been pretty great each time. It's just a game, mate. Yeah, absolutely. It should be just a short drop in. It's just a game.
Well, for you, like, it's just a game.
Yeah.
For us, it's our entire life.
For us, it is literally how John feeds his child.
No, I haven't been feeding my child ants. Okay, so not reward territory, it's unlock points. I think that's all I need to save. That should be fine. If I recompile the stuff, bring you guys back into where I am. Oh, compile failed. I'm pretty sure that'll be because it shouldn't be used in.
So it has to be a public member.
Yeah, I haven't put the public tag in. One sec.
This is an issue with making methods public or private, which is an important part of code management, really, isn't it? Particularly when you've got more than one person on a project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Private methods and variables can only be accessed by the class that, like in this case, the class that John's just creating. Public ones can be accessed outside of the class by referencing it, can't they?
Yeah. Public, private. You also got.
It is very important. I mean, you could, in theory, make everything public, but it really quickly become a cluster of mess, wouldn't it? Hi, Gino717. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the colony. Awesome ants. Yeah. Okay, so that seemed to compile. Okay. No game from slot. Hang on. Does save game exist? Always important to check.
Because if it doesn't,
you don't want to try and load it.
No, because that won't work. Yeah. Ants are awesome. Which is your favourite ant in the game, John? Mine is definitely the leaf cutter.
My favourite ant? What, in single hand?
Yes.
It was the third worker I built on.
Worker number 3612. The 16th, the spawn from its tile.
Yeah, it did so much work before expiring.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great worker, that one.
Thankfully, it was replaced with one equally good straight after.
Yeah. I mean, species interest. I definitely think the leaf cutters are the most complex one we've covered. So they are. They've got quite a complex little.
Societies are really complex. I mean, it's often said that only human societies are more complex than leaf cutters.
Yeah. Cast 2. What is it? It's a.
Bacatane says, maybe use the point system to unlock ants in this level. Each creatures already have a point value, no need for new currency.
Yeah. Yeah, the I was thinking of either doing it via their cost or their oh yeah, I could do it via their point value. That way they're already sort of balanced. The unlocks are sort of balanced. Okay, so if that's so, create save game. Huh. Just thinking, I want to store this save game somewhere. Probably store it on the level blueprint. Actually, what I'll do is I'll have an event dispatcher come from here, and I'll pick it up in the level blueprint.
Is it hard to use Unreal Engine? No, it's really easy. It's a really intuitive system. I've managed to pick up quite a bit of it in a short amount of time. But you're going to need to know code.
Yeah.
You're going to need to learn how to program at the same time. It's C++ and kind of the blueprint system in Unreal 4 complement each other. I don't think you can really have one without the other and do things very powerfully. You can certainly make a game using just blueprints, but you're a bit limited in scope then, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard as far as you know.
Relatively,
I'm talking here. You'll find it easier to build a game in Unreal Engine than just in C++.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, significantly.
I'd say jump in and do it though. It's totally free if you're not making any money from it.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, just download it, get going. Plenty of tutorials out there. YouTube, the official site. Plenty you can buy as well if you want. I'd recommend Udemy. Some really good courses on there.
Okay. So here it loads the save game, or it checks if it exists. If it exists, it loads it. If it doesn't, it makes it. Then what it needs to do is it needs to pass. Actually, that's probably enough for now, until the start button's pressed. So at the point that the start button's released, then we are going to call this new event dispatcher, which I'm going to call begin game. At that point, it's going to pass it to the level blueprint. So begin game is going to have some things. So it's gonna pass. It's gonna pass the save game file on. What else are we gonna do? Anything else we need to pass on? No, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, so at that point, it's just going to pass the save game file on. What's it called? Begin game. Okay, so we're going to go over to the level blueprint. This is basically me trying to get information from this UI into the level blueprint. The best way to do it is through these event dispatches. It's the simplest way of doing it. Level script. We'll worry about this stuff later.
Will there be a story in the form of carrying? There already is.
It's
a way of having Uber ants.
No. Level 3. Upgrade everything to level 3.
Level 3 is as close as you'll get.
Yeah. We're not going to have Uber versions of your ants. That'll be nuts. Okay. So I need like a post begin play thing. Oh, here we are. Right. Create widget, extreme holdout. Then I think I need to bind event to begin game, custom event. There we are. Don't know why that's come up as a new parameter. Because it's still named new parameter in here. That's why. Well, new parameter. Okay, so at the point of this needs to be stored. but we also need to shove it into the tile grid.
A wave of 10 to 50 Uber ants can appear like other Ubers and roam the map. Are you guys masochists? Have you not seen how difficult Ubers are to defeat? You want 50 of them at one time?
You mean like a an Uber that is multiple creatures? It's essentially an Uber rolled into multiple creatures.
I had a nightmare like that once.
You got attacked by Uber ants.
Yeah.
Leaf cutters as big as your hand.
In free play, one ant tile can have a 0.00003 chance of spawning Uber each. I think you'll probably get one every 4 years, I think, if it's that low.
What am I doing? Okay. So I need to get the tile grid. I need to shove the colony setup into the tile grid.
Royal Guard could have the same glowing effect as an Uber creature. I guess they could. I don't think there's any need there. They're pretty distinctive, aren't they? They're big old ants.
Yeah.
They're quite a bit different than the surrounding ants. Yeah, I think with the Ubers, it was just a case of asking Matt to come up with something to just make them distinctive, and he came up with the glow. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you could have done. They could have been a different colour or a particle effect, or I like the glow. It worked. Keep it unique to Ubers, I think.
We're looking at making something similar to that for the army ants, because at the minute the smoke effect's not very.
I think the smoke effect's been changed, hasn't it? I think
they
have
to
kind of
a
flash
glow.
effect now, haven't they? Yeah. It was a bit heavy on me.
However, Matt didn't predict the way it actually needed to work, because it affects any ants, any creatures near it, and he made it only work on army ants, which is fine for the campaign levels, but it's not necessarily fine for that one campaign level, but doesn't actually work in the form of carrion, because
it does
it's got to affect the other ants as well.
It affects all the other species that are in the enemy form of carrion.
They could make it just affect them, however that does limit.
I did like the kind of red fog, the red haze, but I imagine there are quite a lot of overheads with those particle effects.
It wasn't really to do with the overhead. It's more to do with the fact that it wasn't instantly clear. It was because it took a while to build up, because it's a smoke effect. Okay, so that's putting the colony setup in place. At that point, everything begins. I need to pause the game when this widget opens.
Red haze and rapid fire kill frame rates. I guess, some people will feel that. We've got pretty good systems. That's the thing we have to realise.
The rapid fire does. There's a few optimizations that need to come in with the projectile effects, because they were very heavy on the old CPU or I'm guessing it's CPU weight rather than GPU.
Just while I'm at it, guys, I'm looking for a YouTuber highlight for the newsletter. I like to highlight someone who's kind of helped us with putting up gameplay and such like. I have covered a lot of them, and we watch a lot of them. Is there anyone in particular that you'd like me to have a look at? Any YouTubers that you think would be worth me having a look at for potential, giving them a plug in the newsletter? Let me know if you do know any.
Okay, so what have I done?
There's a guy here I've not seen before who uploaded a few days ago, and he's got 16k views on his video. So it's quite nice.
Looks like he's playing free play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the dunes, isn't it?
Hope he has found the other levels. I do worry that sometimes people might not have actually found the other levels.
I do sometimes think maybe former carrying we could do with changing it to campaign.
So people understand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the way we've got the game set up is that feeds into free play. So if you haven't played that first, you're gonna have a harder time in free play.
It's not immediately obvious, is it? There was a fella on the Steam forums actually who posted. He wasn't angry about it. He was more wondering if he was missing something. If you play with gene stealers or gene thieves,
Gene thieves.
Sorry, we need to be very careful here for copyright reasons. Don't sue us, Citadel or Games Workshop. He says, well, how do you play with them in free play? They're useless, and they pretty much are. So, but it wasn't. The point is, it wasn't immediately obvious that they're actually the most powerful, but you have to build them up in the campaign mode first. So yeah, there's certainly things we can do to make it more obvious, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's plenty of that kind of thing before we call the game done. In fact, before we call the game done, there'll probably be a good idea to do a pass of that kind of thing, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Go through everything and try and lock down points that need to be made more explicit and such like.
Okay, so need to pause the game. Pause. Oops.
What's that? What have you done?
Accidentally shrunk the game.
Honey, I shrunk the UI.
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't built in any of the unlocks or anything yet, or built any of the level, but we should start to see things take form here. But when I press play it crashes, but it's something I haven't thought about. Hey! It's perfect!
I see no issue.
Oh, okay. So I need to remove the widget from the parent. I think there's a way I can lock the viewport onto this widget as well, so you can't click anything else. Thieves work on their own, cannot kill self-healing tank.
No, of course they can't.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to either.
They're just not.
Slender Brian Show made it to a stream again after like 200 years.
Yay!
You did it!
The streams of 200 years ago were much more basic than they are today.
They were basically performance art. The only thing I can think of that might be close to a live stream is a play. 200 years ago.
Right.
Why Royal Guard have dig speed? Because they were inherited from workers. I'd have thought they were just. I imagine the way when John was doing the Royal Guard is he copied the worker.
Everything's good.
Yeah, and it increased its stats, and it's still and that, for that reason it has a dig speed.
Creatures have sets of stats. They're not.
They don't use all of them.
Yeah, they don't use all of them. For example, Ubers don't actually use their attack damage value because they never use their basic attack.
They have a special one.
Yeah, it does area of effect damage. There's two types of creatures in the game. There's the swarm creatures and the colony creatures. They've got slightly different stats to each other, but it's only things like home tile, like a swarm creature, which is like the beetles and all that. They don't have a home tile. Most stats are actually on every creature in the creature class.
It's a good balance between workers and warriors. I've generally found a 2.5 to 1 ratio works for most instances, but I don't know. It really depends.
It depends on level as well.
Depends on the level. It depends on
species.
Yeah, it depends on the difficulty level you're saying. I mean, it's perfectly possible to go through, say, 1-1, new home, with just the few workers you get to start with, and pretty much put the rest of your resources into soldiers. But if we're talking, say, level 3 or 2-1, let's say, on the beach, the people who are really good at it and play it on an insane mode have a lot of workers because it's cheap resource gathering, and that's there's no one. There is no one solution to that. There's no golden ratio to have there. It really depends on your play style and what you're trying to do. If you're trying to beat a game on insane, you probably want more workers than the lower difficulties as a general rule. But yeah. See, something I do like about our game is there's not really a defined meta exactly. There are lots of different approaches to it.
I haven't done anything in a while. I keep clicking on things. I need to think. Okay, so right with the right. So I'll go back to the starting widget.
Hiya, dat boy a thought. Are you a boy or are you a thought?
Dat boy. Right, I'm just anchoring these or everything to the center of the screen so they don't appear in weird positions. Okay, and I'm going to disable them all to start with.
Like in 10-15 minutes or so.
Right. Rather than disable. See, grayed out would be a good thing, but I don't want them to be totally disabled. Normal hover pressed, disabled. I really want them grayed out until you unlock them. I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about it yet. The problem with just disabling them is that you won't be able to click them, which isn't what I want. I just need to make it obvious when you've purchased something. I'll worry about it in a bit. I'm not going to get held back by that sort of thing at the minute. Okay, so unlock points, that needs to come from the save game file. So there's the text block. I'll rename it. So I know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's that. Next thing I need to do is somehow highlight icons that are purchased, and I haven't really thought that one through. But we'll deal with that in a bit. Deal with this in a bit. Right, let's do some actual level editing. Okay, so the map doesn't need to be too complicated. Do I want a complete circle? See, this is a bit like surrounded now, only with multiple access points. Not really sure what I want to do with it yet. Also, I think I can do a better job of that circle. Almost got the Half-Life logo, yeah. The lambda, yeah. Yeah, I could do. Half-Life 3 confirmed. They might be broken, actually. I haven't actually looked into them for a while. What I'll do is I was thinking of including those in this level as well. So, like, more access routes could be opened up to your queen. A bit like Surrounded, but... and in doing that, I'll see if I can fix them, because it might well be that they've just broken. This is just another monthly map, so it's just going to be one of the extra things to do whilst we're waiting for the major updates. This one's a purely underground one, and the reason I'm making a purely underground one this time is because I want to be able to work on a map from start to finish, and up to now we've done 3 maps that we've started, but we've not been able to finish because the movement code at the minute is broken, and everywhere but the players underground. So I'm making a level that is just the players underground. Everything's broken. Yeah, I probably want to limit them a bit. Before anything, I'm just going to close this in a bit. Round this off a bit more. So once I've I'm going to get rid of the what's the nuclear symbol look like? Maybe a fun one to make the map look like it. Just getting rid of the edge indestructibles, and I'm going to put indestructibles closer to the circle edge, so we don't have a round map. No, so we have a round map. Sorry. So much for round. Tactical nuke incoming. Right, I need to put some indestructible tiles down as well. We're then going to need to build some caves. Now, the idea with this level is it's got some replayability, so you play it once, you get some points, you unlock some more unit options, you play it again. Now, in order to make it truly replayable, we're going to need some consistent way of having resources. Problem is, if I put normal tile surface in, then each playthrough will be the same essentially. You're just remembering which route to take. Question is there any way I can do it? I can vary it a bit. Can I introduce a random element maybe? Nuke symbol. Circle in the middle with reverse triangles pointing outwards. The left and right. Nuclear. Yeah, I see it. So there's like 6 sections in a nuclear symbol, isn't there? So what would that be? It'd be like that and that, that and that, that and that. Could be quite fun. So if I was going to turn this into a nuclear symbol, it'd be more... that's indestructible. The thing is, I still only want 3 routes open. However, alright, it's an interesting idea. So we're talking about tunnelers. Maybe tunnelers open up the other 3. Question is which way around we want it as well. I could have it like... That's way too big. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but I could have the like limited random generation. So basically, at the beginning of the game, it picks. Either it selects from an area and turns those into caverns and fills them with creatures. Just trying to figure it all out in my head. It's as with all of these side levels, I don't want to spend too long working on it. Right, if I did something like this and then stopped there, and then this actually went through there. Oh, it's not going to work. Depends which way around we want it as well. Because looking at these images, there's 2 ways round it goes. I think I slightly prefer the one with the 1 section at the top, like I was doing there. So it'd be like that. I think that's too much of it. It's been taken up. Oh, still not right. My art skills are lacking. Need to go back to art class. Yeah, you might. Yeah, maybe I'm being too harsh on myself. Oh, I'm on fill. That's why. Okay. What if it was that sort of width? Is that better? Possibly. It's like an inverse nuclear symbol. This one needs refining down here, but I'm not gonna completely destroy it. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. We still need to work on this. All right. We've been.
It's a radioactive waste symbol.
Yes. Hey, he recognised it. Thankfully. Hey, Mike, you're good at art. Why don't you draw it?
That's fine. You're not going to get it perfect with without using either a lot of time or using some sort of code to do it.
Let's work on it a bit more.
You know, if you're doing this, you've got to have things like random radiation spikes.
Ants start taking damage.
Yeah.
Green glow appears.
Yeah.
Appears in it. So everyone knows nuclear is green for some reason.
Of course, yeah, it is. Occasionally hear a rumble in the distance as another nuke is either launched or explodes. Yeah. Random uber creatures might appear. Enhanced by the radiation. Yeah.
Mutants.
Fallout 4 crossover incoming. Might improve that game.
Fallout 4 was good. It's not Fallout 4 was the problem. It's the.
I think Fallout 76 was more.
Yeah, Fallout 76, the outlier.
More of an issue with that one, yeah.
It's like Fallout without the story, which is. Apparently, it's been improving.
I'm sure it has.
There's like a patch for No Man's Sky released yesterday.
Yeah, I heard.
I might give it a go.
Well, it's not that expensive at the moment.
I've got it. I think I've actually got it on both places. But they also released the VR version, so I might give it on PlayStation actually.
Have you still got the VR headset for the PlayStation?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I'm not happy with this one down at the bottom right, so I'm going to spend another hour working on it.
Look what you've done, chat. I'm assuming this was your idea.
Well, it kind of was. I think the idea came from chat, but they didn't actually say do it. I think they just mentioned it looked a bit like a nuclear symbol, and that was my cue to spend the next
part of your life.
part of my life drawing a nuclear symbol in the sand. Okay, so yeah, straight line, that's good.
Right, so I'm giving John a set timer to finish this now.
Oh god, that's time pressure.
Right, so what have you got?
7. Might be because the circle in the middle is a little off center. Oh yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Right, I'm going to move on for now. I might come back to that in my spare time. Okay, so the idea of these 3 routes anyway was so that we're access routes. So it does need to open up at the end.
What's your tile grid, John?
What?
How many left and
I
right?
think it's 50 by 60.
50 by 60. Is it?
Hold on, I'm on the wrong. Yeah, 60 by 50. All the way around. Anyway, let's think about the other things. I need to create a impenetrable rock around the edge. Oh, there was some. I need to send these to Matt. Hang on.
What's that?
Some tile.
Might have got some
bugs.
tile edge
Yeah.
issues.
But I can't. I need to replicate what I just had. It came up multiple times.
Yeah. I thought he'd squashed all of those problems.
The amount of combinations I think is huge. I can't get it to happen again. Keep an eye out for it happening and then stop doing anything at that moment. At the very edge of the map, I need to be very careful. At the edge of the world. The ends of the earth.
Well, you got made you a perfect template.
That's what I'm aiming for, is it?
Yeah.
Quite a lot of open queen tile in the middle.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? To get a 2-scale one.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do like a ring around the queen with it. Probably.
No. I don't think you need to be super precise, John.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it anyway. Okay, we need to think about what we're taking on next.
When Empires of the Undergrowth has its birthday, give all the ants party hats. We could do that.
Oh yeah, you could do.
Yeah. Be on the 1st of December, wouldn't it?
At least the queen.
You can give the Queen a party hat, yeah. Probably all the ants don't need one. So yeah, she already gets a Santa hat, doesn't she, at Christmas? Is the ant underground flat because that confirms the Earth is flat? It does. It does. As we know, the Earth is flat. Do I want to go here? I don't.
No, you don't want to go there. Plot twist: the ECU events are happening in Zone 51. They can't stop all of us.
They
If we
can't
rush
stop all
it.
the ants.
Can't stop all the ants. If all the ants rushed it, they couldn't stop them.
Well, we have to, as we know, John, in Area 51 is where they're actually keeping the real gene thief ants.
Yeah. Oh, this is where the game takes.
Yeah,
That's where the lab in the game.
The lab is in Area 51. Yeah. And there's a little bit of lore for you guys. So that means we have to finish the game by September the 20th, because that's when the raid's happening.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the internet decided?
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's actually going to try.
I imagine what will happen is there may be a little kind of meme get together in a nearby town, but other than that.
Be the ants. Rush Area 51 and free the ants. Okay, what am I doing? What's next on the list? Right, and I can either focus on the waves, I can focus on the unlocks, I can focus on...
I think the more fun stuff is probably the waves. You don't come like the scaling for the waves for now.
So waves, the unlocks, or the...
Should we let people decide?
Or the tile surfers. Can you do a poll?
I'm going to do a quick straw poll, guys, and you can decide what John works on for the rest of the stream, which is what, another hour-ish, I guess? Depending on how long you want to keep going, yeah. What were the other ones, John?
So waves, unlocks, and
Tile surfers.
Tile surfers.
Tile surfers, by the way, are the little exclamation symbols you see underground, which they get replaced with a live creature when you dig them out. Yeah. I think they were called tile surfers because they moved at one point.
Yeah, they were. But
they don't now. There's no need. Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll make them move again.
I actually forgot to plug my laptop in.
much power you got?
It's done remarkably well.
10%.
Yeah.
You need to get the...
Yeah. I'll just get this pole out, guys. Now I just need to dip out to make sure my laptop's plugged in. Unlocks waves and tile surface, yeah? So you guys can... I'll post this link and then you guys can decide what John's going to work on. There you go, there's the straw pole. Right, okay. Shoot out the way, John.
Mike, you know.
Is it alright?
Knocked it over. Mike's knocked over his drink. I need to replace my towel anyway. So I'll just use that towel.
Oh, at least it was on the floor. Right, let's have a look at this straw pole. Okay, quite simply unlocks, John. Yep.
Unlocks.
People want unlocks via 5 votes to 1 for tile surface and none for wave. So yeah.
Okay,
there we go.
Right, so the unlocks. Now what I'll do is I'll create a cheat button at the minute to cheat myself some resources. And as is my favourite button to put any testing on, it's going to be right bracket. Great button that, I love it. Right. All this is going to do, it's going to ram a load of resources into the so get unlock points. Set unlock points. Plus, I don't know, 10. It's probably fine. So that this eventually will be done by the scoreboard. So at the scoreboard, you will receive a, well, maybe not the scoreboard, just before the scoreboard, you'll receive a chunk of stuff.
Are there any achievements in the game yet? Not yet.
Not yet.
It's probably something we'll add for version 1.0, I'd have thought.
Well, they'll definitely be there.
Yeah,
by that point.
they will be there. All of the Steamworks stuff will be there properly. We'll obviously we'll do for release. We'll do things like trading cards and all that stuff. Yeah, I mentioned yesterday Steam Cloud. That'll be part of that as well. Yeah, it will all be there.
We shall get there. Time will tell. Not on Steam. What? Well, I imagine when we do the achievement system, we'll do a non-Steam version of it as well. There'll be an in-game achievement that link to
Which
the
could
Steam
be
achievements.
Overridden by Steam if you play on Steam.
I think they'll be linked into Steam if you're playing on Steam, and then not if you're not. Okay, so pressing that should give me a load of unlock points. Now, at the end of the game, I need it to save the game. So at the point of defeat or victory, defeat action, I changed the scoreboard system, I think, so I could tell what the score was without calculating it on the scoreboard. I think I did. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so there's a function called calculate scores. Let's find where that's used. It's not used in here at all. Oh, it's used from the scoreboard. I remember this. Now the scoreboard uses level methods to calculate the scores. However, I want to know what the game difficulty multiplier is, because I can't remember. Player score, yeah. So that uses calculate score. That might do it. That might run it through the multiplier. I can't remember. Either way, I'm just going to use this for now. So at the point that the game ends... Damn it. What are we doing? Oh. Yeah, so defeat action. We're going to... I need level methods. Calculate scores. And then some... You're going to get an amount of upgrade points based on your score. There's not going to be a time multiplier in this. So just add these together for now. I'll probably have to rethink this. There'll be some multiplier done for the difficulty that you played at. But then basically unlock points. Get unlock points, set unlock points. This multiplied by some multiplier. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll have to see. It's the kind of thing that we can determine in testing. I'm assuming it's going to be a... Actually, it's probably going to have to be by a float. Because I think it's going to be reducing the score. Because scores can go into the 1,000. We don't want to give people thousands of unlock points. So probably... at the minute, I'm just going to multiply it by 0.2. And that'll do for now. Add it onto your previous unlock points. Set the unlock points. Getting there. And then finally save the game. Save game to slot. And what did we call the slot? We called it Extreme Holdout Progress. Whew. So when you're defeated, it saves that. Right, let's see if that works. I need a button to kill the queen. Or a button for just defeat action. Left bracket. Okay, right bracket should give me unlock points. Left bracket should kill me.
Let's find out.
And basically, as I give myself unlock points, more should appear in that. Okay, so 0 unlock points to start with. That should be giving me unlock points. That should be 100. That should be defeat.
Yep.
If I cancel and play, I should have 100 unlock points. 128.
Where did the extra 28 come from?
Ah, from the score. Of course, there's the score edition as well. Okay, so that's saving and loading fine. Next, we've got to be able to spend the unlock points. So currently, I need to get rid of those. In fact, if I press OK, does that change what's available? No. This is something that I'm going to have to figure out, I think.
Trapjaw.
Yeah, it's because it's from the other.
Oh, from the
The other game. Colony setup.
Wait, we can use the Trapjaw. Not in the campaign or the former Carrion, but in one of the other side missions that John's working on. Yeah, the Trapjaw is a unit you can build.
It's not free play setup. It's not here either. It's in.
Yeah, it's not a Trapjaw colony you're playing as. It's a Gene Thief, an Erector colony that has the Trapjaws, like the enemy colony does in former Carrion Challenge 3. In fact, because it was set up for them, it was quite easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot easier.
Yeah, to just transplant it into a player colony for a side mission.
Something called colony setup. I'm looking for. There it is. Okay. What's text?
Yeah. I'm going to go replace that blackcurrant I spilt. Drop more water, John, while you're at it.
Yeah, no, I'm alright.
Right.
I want to give the player black ants anyway to start with. Okay, there's a chance I'm gonna hit an issue here, in that I think a lot of the game setup has been done by the point. Although I think I know how I can refresh it. My guess is now that I saved it, it's probably unlocked the or relocked the black ant. Yeah, so it's unticked the black ant there, but it's still available to me because it's run the setup before. So I'm going to have to rerun the setup essentially. I think I can do because I think it's been added in place for like refreshing them. UG tile grid.
Will the Gene Thief free play be able to use the Trapjaws after this mission? Not at the moment.
I
These are side missions. Yeah, they don't have any impact on Formicarian colonies outside of providing perhaps some resources like food or royal jelly, etc. on completion. Normal rewards like that you get for finishing a campaign mission. But as far as unlocking things like trapdoors for the erectors goes, I mean we've spoken about it. Maybe we'd have to come up with a way to do that properly that's balanced. But we perhaps, but we don't know. Decision hasn't been made on that.
Build menu. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to remember how to refresh the Broods menu. Actually, it is the Broods menu. Let's look for references to the Broods menu. Set up build menu buttons. Okay, this is probably what I'm looking for. Okay. Alright. So tug of war, set up Broods menu. Set up build menu buttons. The question is it's actually going to work.
You thought about one of these, yeah?
What? No, I'm not going that far. Okay, so that worked. So that got rid of the black ants, even though that's not technically what I want. That is what it's set up to do at the moment. Is basically go back to a very basic setup, and that is because okay, so it's the colony options being saved. They should technically be. So it's being loaded from this save game, or a new save game is being made. I think in this situation we want to set up the basic unlocks, so colony setup, set colony setup, make colony setup. The basic setup will involve black ants only. That'd be the only difference, I believe. Let's do it the other way around. Okay, so that's setting the basic setup there. If the save game doesn't exist, if it does exist, we just use the one that exists. And then we need to make clicking the buttons unlock stuff. So let's deal with a couple of the buttons. So the pressing the the wood ants button. Okay, so first of all, it needs to check you've got enough to purchase it. We haven't decided on prices yet, although I think for now I'm just going to go with the cost of the tile, or the point value. Cost of the tile, I think, for now. I think I can just get that from the game state. No, get game state. Cast it to the EOTU game state. Cost. Get cost. I think it might be called Wood Ant Soldier build. I don't remember. One sec, let me have a look. Costs.csv. Yeah, it is just Wood Ant Soldier build. I think we're going to end the stream at 2, by the way.
You want to spend another 10 minutes or so on this and then go through a few source control changes?
Yeah, I can do.
And while you're doing that, I can take notes for the newsletter.
So we need to first check that the Pi actually has that. So in its save game,
will the ant escape the Formicarium? Well, who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe you can allow unlocking side ants for Gene Thief in free play. Perhaps. I mean, it's a bit clunky then to have it just free play only. I mean, would you still have to unlock them somehow?
I was thinking about having some of the colonies in free play potentially, or at least maybe a Gene Thief version of Trapjaw and a Gene Thief version of.
So you'd call them that?
Yeah. That way we don't have to design queens for them and that sort of thing, but just ideas. You never know. We might be able to put the queens in as well.
It's just a case of artwork, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
So if unlock points greater than the cost, then we purchase it. Now, I might make a purchase function which properly deals with it, but for now I'm just gonna do a simple thing that is just literally gonna set unlock points. It's gonna be the previous unlock points minus the cost. Okay, so that deducts the cost from you. Next, it's got to purchase it, which in order to do that, we want
Need DLC in mind? Not right now.
you've got to finish the game
We
first.
have a game to finish first. Perhaps in the far future when the game's out and we're I don't know. Basically no. just yet.
Not just yet. We're not thinking about that just yet.
Yeah, a long ways to go before we start to make decisions like that.
It's going to get a little bit trickier. So here you want to purchase the, what is it, the wood ant melee. Fortunately, the blueprints doesn't deal very well with changing an individual aspect of a structure.
It's time to delve into C++.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to do it manually.
A bit clunky. Is this a struct?
Yeah.
Look at the size of it.
It's everything to do with the colony setup. It's got all the upgrades in and everything. Wood ant melee. That's what it is. Now, which ones are we going to change? So they need, whatever the current state of them is, needs to be passed over. So food stores don't really change. It's just the unlocks that we've got available. So we're looking at the wood ant and its variant, the Medea, the major and its variant, and the trapjaw. Black ant, wood ant. Medea. Yeah, I accidentally plugged that into Leaf got a major disable, which I believe is the thing that Liam must be using for
See you, Hawk. Cheers for dropping in.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see you again soon.
I think that's all that needs to do at the minute. And it needs to update the unlock points number. I think that's all it needs to do. At the moment, this is just really a test because I'll come up with a function to do all this, so we don't have to do it separately for everything.
Good. That's that sorted for now.
Let's test that. So if I press the create them in, that should just get rid of the black ant. Now if I click that, that should spend 50.
Correct.
And when I hit OK, it should put the melee. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we are.
Success.
The unlock looks like it's working. Yeah, it's a start to this level. And we should be able to work through this level from start to finish on stream without worrying too much about the new movement systems, thankfully.
It's good, yeah, so this is a good one to come back to for stream. Good stuff. Okay, so for the last few minutes, should we have a look at a few of the more interesting recent source commits?
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, for people who aren't clear how these things work, as the guys make changes to the code or add things, remove things, alter things, they make a note of what they've changed, yeah, for future reference for both of them and the other guys. And some of them are tiny, some of them are quite significant. So John's just going to go through some of the more recent ones here and find some interesting ones to have a quick chat about.
Now, as with most of what's happened recently, I've moved that over here so I can see it better. Most of these are going to be optimizations. Because that's what's been going on at the moment. A couple of them will be fixes and whatnot, and some of them will just be me making changes to the levels. Liam is during this time period has been working on his movement algorithms, but he's not been necessarily doing them in the engine. He's been practicing them in a separate program that he's been writing. Just to and so coming up with ways of movement algorithms that's tile grid based, and you'll notice at the minute that the ants are moving between like the center of tiles in their paths. And that's just because Liam's come up with a system that's doing that, and that I think his plan next is to smooth that out a bit. So it's to kind of so they come up with a basic path and then kind of smooth it out so they don't zigzag on the tiles. I think that's his concept there. So Liam won't have that many commits recently. But Matt has been... Let's read some of the commits. So profile declarations on tick editions. So that is just Matt's profiling. So Matt's been continuing to profile the game, which is looking at how long the game spends in each function. So he's been adding these things to count how long the game spends in each function, and that'll tell him which functions need optimizing more. So Matt has continued his profiling and optimization in that respect. So optimizations to the chamber representation. Chamber widget. So the chamber representation widget's this thing at the bottom, I believe. So he's coming up with optimizations to that. I've been doing some work with overlapping actors. So Matt removed all overlaps for creatures, so they don't overlap with things, and they don't register themselves whether they overlap, which was an optimization in itself. And then I've had to go through the engine and find the areas where we were checking for overlaps, and do the overlaps in a slightly different way, because there's not that many of them, but there was a couple of tricky ones. So basically, rather than the creatures constantly seeing if they're overlapping something, we just have very specific occasions where we check for the overlaps. He's been working on the mini-map, so big optimizations in the mini-map. Couple of fixes. This is me just looking at the overlaps again that I was talking about a second ago. Adding new methods for checking for overlaps and such. I disabled the ability to turn off digging that an enemy has set in their base. So currently, if you get into the enemy's base and they've got an area flagged for digging, you could actually turn that off. That's actually in the current build of the game. But I don't think anyone ever did, because I think you've got to be quite fat early on in 3.1. Yeah. To get into the enemy colony.
Bit of an oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never come up though.
Yeah.
But now that we've said that, someone will do it.
Yeah, see if you can do it. So if you can get into the enemy base and
there's a little challenge.
turn off their construction.
Anyone watching this, yeah.
They're tunneling. You probably completely break the AI. You get confused.
Probably won't do it again, will it?
Yeah. I prevented a crash somewhere. Oh, but it was an in-engine crash. Which was to do with the AI, with the enemy colony AI.
My ant got lost in enemy nests when they take their leaves. You can pick up enemy leaves.
Oh, right, yeah, they probably haven't got a code to deal with that if
they'd
they're
have
picked
no
up.
idea where to take them, would they?
It's an oversight. That one needs...
Should you be allowed to steal enemy leaf cuttings?
Yeah.
Why not, I guess?
Yeah. But it's a bug. I'm just going to note that down in bugs.
Yeah, they tried to put them in the enemy leaf store, apparently. I guess they would, wouldn't they? Yeah, a bit of an oversight.
Okay, so fix some issues with the minimap processing. I think Matt's just working more on the minimap. Remove numerous harmful uses of default query parameters. That one sounds terrifying. Okay, so yeah, we're up to my work from yesterday now. Working on the Brood Sisters map. Matt was finished. Did some more fixing and optimizing in creature scans. That's when they look for the creatures. So that's been optimized, and there's some big changes that have happened to the way that creatures look for other creatures.
Is that you doing that?
That's Matt, actually.
Pretty much all of this, is, apart from bug fixes, is optimization, which is, of course, is what we're into at the moment.
I did a reduced mesh for leafcutter minims. Alright, so leafcutter minims are no longer holding a really complicated mesh, they're holding a really simple one.
They shouldn't have to, should they?
Yeah.
They're tiny.
So that'll be an optimization that you've added in.
They're so small, the minims in leaf cutters, even when they're zoomed in really far, they're still tiny. So it makes no sense for them to have a really complicated mesh, with lots of polygons. So quite simply, by giving them a simpler mesh, it's not going to make any difference, and it's going to reduce processing.
So there's some more fixes added for that day lighting issue that was that we had yesterday as well. So they're the commits that have happened since the beginning of the month.
Mm-hmm. Almost entirely optimization and glitches. Which
a
is
couple of us have been away this last week as well. It wasn't just me that was away, Matt was away as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all optimizations really at the minute, and Liam's continuing to work on. I think he's putting stuff in the engine now, but he's not submitted any of it. He's got a lot of I can see that he's got a lot of the files checked out, but he hasn't actually submitted it yet. So my guess is he's trying to do a lot in one go, probably because it'll break other things if he doesn't.
Yeah, figures.
So yeah, that's that.
Okay. It's just coming up to 3 now, so not 2 rather. So
yeah, we'll call the stream there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone.
Yeah.
At the peak, we had about 14 people, which was nice, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll do one tomorrow, but it'll be a shorter one, so just an hour or something.
Either in the morning or I'll be leaving kind of mid-afternoon, so either that or after you've dropped me off at the station. Cool. Yeah. So it's been nice doing a couple of streams with you, John, this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Do it again sometime when I'm up.
Yeah. I'm sure, no problem.
Yeah, it's been good. Right, cheers. Yeah, cheers for stopping by, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Or John will probably see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time. Thanks very much.